A newly built council secretariat at Isiokpo was set ablaze. Another secretariat in LML local government area was also razed. The attacks follow the withdrawal of police officers securing the 23 council secretariats by the Commissioner of Police. Arise correspondent Andy Omano has more.
Sounds of gunshots around Akpor Council barely less than 20 minutes after the newly elected council chairman, Chidi Ihunwo, swore in 17 councillors at the legislative chambers of the LGA. Scores of people sustained varying degrees of injuries in the process.
We are disappointed with the Nigerian police because if you look at the council is close to a station, a divisional station. But we are disappointed. We are happy that the house have been proclaimed.
Aoda East Council also witnessed the same, with one person feared death. LMA Council was not spared, just like Ikwere and Emoha councils. While only the administrative section of LMA Council was set ablaze, the entire secretariat complexes of Ikwere and neighboring Emoha LGAs went up in flames. Omuma LGA was also not left out. The development is now eliciting condemnations across the state and the entire nation.
We are aware that the enemies of the state will definitely take this approach since they have failed in every of their plans to see that Rivers State local government election did not come to play. And that is why we were begging the IG of police to see how he can tell the Zone 16 and the Commissioner of Police Rivers State to work in synergy to build the peace, the security architecture that will protect life and property.
The level of desperation of some individuals whom, when they cannot get what they want through the front door, they try to get it through the back door. But unfortunately, the local government elections have been concluded and the chairmen that have been elected have been sworn in. So now it's straight to the business of governance and nobody can stop that.
But the new chairman of Akpor Council has a word of advice for those responsible for the killings, arson, and protests across local councils in the state.
For those who say they want to burn our local government, people have served as council chairman, that's of Chibu and others. People have served, so why do you want to destroy, because of one person, you want to destroy the property of the government? Because they have served your tenure and leave. I will do my own and leave. So we don't need all this distraction, people coming to destroy the secretariats because of their personality, because of what they want to gain. So I want to assure people that I will ensure that we work together as a team. And for those who are doing protests, I'm also going to call them that they should come back, because if they die, nobody, man sending them will not even pick their call. That is the worst part of it.
But despite the violence perpetrated across different council areas in Rivers State, many residents say the days of one strong man, godfatherism, and politics of thuggery are gone. They are now setting agenda for the new council chairman.
Why the local government chairman cannot fend for everybody in their local government? They can come up with policies that will touch positively the lives of everybody in that local government. For example, you can come up with grants, you can come up with loans, you can come up with... There are so many policies. All you need to do is get sound advisors that will advise you on what to do, the economic steps to take, policies to come up with that will benefit the generality and not just a microscopic few.
Of course, they know that the major problem in the country now is that of hunger. We expected that in the past decade, that the local government should open roads where our farmers can evacuate the produce from their farms to the market, to create access to them for finance, security, and of course, where the goods produced and in the farms will have free roads to the market, so that people can have food to eat and train their children.
Soldiers are reported to have taken over the Ahoda East Council Secretariat, where one person was feared dead after being shot to forestall a reprisal. The police had early Monday morning unsealed the entrances into the 23 LGA secretariats on the order of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. Meanwhile, as the state grapples with these challenges, some of the newly sworn-in council chairmen have appealed to residents of their respective local governments to remain calm and peaceful, even in the face of provocations.
Good morning.
Well, thank you for joining us, gentlemen. Well, Tony Cole is with us here in the studio. Let's start with you. Your take on developments in Rivers State. You were one of the candidates in the 2023 gubernatorial elections. Now we have these developments. There has been no peace, no love lost between Fubara and his godfather, Wike. Now, looking at these developments, how do you feel now? And to you, Honorable Chidi, I think it would be appropriate now to attach Honorable to your name, now that you are elected chairman. Tell us about your experience yesterday. But let's start with the gubernatorial candidate, Tony Cole, who is with us here in the studio in Lagos, and then we'll come to you immediately. Let's start with you.
Ruben, thank you very much. I would say, first of all, that Rivers State always happens to be in the news for the very wrong reasons. There's nobody that should be proud of what is happening in Rivers State, especially now. Rivers State is blessed with so many other things that could be happening. Yet instead, all we talk about is violence in Rivers State, burning in Rivers State, shooting in Rivers State, political recklessness within Rivers State. And I believe strongly that this has to come to an end. We need to do something totally different. This cannot continue. I'm not happy at all about what I see in Rivers State. This happened to me personally. And when it was happening at that time, and we were saying that, look, this must end, nobody paid attention. And now we're seeing what impunity does when you leave it and you don't put it to a hold. Let me remind you, sir, we were trying to get our material from INEC, something that was legitimately ours to get. The entire faction of everybody who is fighting on both sides sat down outside INEC, picketed INEC for nearly a week, blocked a public road, refused to allow anybody to enter. I was going there to collect my material. They attacked me, stoned me, injured me, pursued me to our secretariat, began to shoot and tear gas it. I put it on IG Live so that everybody could see. Nobody said anything. It was okay. As a result of that, we got to court. The same court that had to remove themselves from Rivers State to Abuja said to me that we don't have evidence, which they prevented us from getting. And as a result of that lack of evidence, we could not win a case. Now, those who are in the political dynamics understand exactly what was happening. And now we're seeing exactly the same thing happening in Rivers State. At some point, somebody has to say enough of the impunity so that we can move forward with democracy. What we are seeing is a very dangerous trend to what democracy should be in Nigeria, and it must stop.
Chidi, elected chairman of Obio Akpor. What happened yesterday at Obio Akpor? If you could just take us through your experience yesterday as you tried to assume office.
What happened yesterday? Immediately we were sworn in. We were sworn in on Sunday by His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State. We ought to go to our various local government to resume office and swear in the vice chairman and the 17 councillors in our local government. On arrival, after they conducted the swearing in of the vice chairman and the councillors, proclaimed the house, the 10th Legislative Assembly of Obio Akpor local government, we went around to inspect the offices. I saw the level of damage that was done there before we came in. So we started hearing shooting across the road some hoodlums who want to invade the council, an attempt to burn the council, but all of the security men attached to the council, they couldn't get access. They were shooting across the road. And our secretary is a very close place, sharing the boundary with the divisional police at Romodumaya, the headquarters of our local government. But the police didn't do anything, but the police attached to the council did their best to scare them away, and the hoodlums ran away. But we're fine, and we have resumed work, and we're sure that we protect lives and property in our local government. And let me also tell Nigerians that nobody can, destroy our local government. The local government has been there before the Minister of FCT came in to become the chairman. So sponsoring people to start shooting here and there across the three local governments is just laughable. And Wike is threatening democracy in Nigeria under the administration of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But we're fine. And I want to tell Nigerians and our people that everybody in Rivers State is fine, and we're going to do the meeting we ought to do for our people. So I want to show our people that they should go about their normal business and remain calm. Two people cannot be mad at the same time. What is happening is more or less laughable. And you also know that what is happening, what goes around comes around. Wike did it to Rotimi Amechi, and today Rivers people also did it to him because he refused to leave Rivers State alone. He has turned Rivers State to be his private industry. I've said, no, you can't hold us to ransom and we want to put us inside your pocket. So for us, we're not scared. I am not talking as a council, not as a youth leader. I'm not a chairman of council. We're preaching peace and tell our people to remain calm. We have a crisis in our state because the governor of our state is a man that has conscience. He's a man that knows what the right thing to do. But for those young people who they are using to cause crisis in our state, I would advise them to fall back because these people who are sending them, I must mention them, the Minister of FCT. You can't see his children around. They are not in Nigeria. They are outside the country. So, and other persons who, the minority leader kitchen, all these people are from Obio, and the former Speaker of the Assembly, these are the people causing crisis in Rivers State. And we are not happy that Wike is disgracing our people, Obio local government. He has done his tenure for 8 years. You allow Fubara to do his tenure and allow Rivers people to have peace. So for us, we are working and nobody can stop us from doing our legitimate duty as a local government authority.
All right, thank you very much. I mean, you've said a number of times you are not mincing words in accusing the FCT minister, but you must also be able to prove, he who alleges must prove, that the thugs who came to invade the local council were from him. I think it's important for you to clarify that so that you're not just making such statements on air that you cannot back up with facts. Beyond that, after yesterday's unsettled unrest, what is it like this morning? I say this because there are conversations around, should a state of emergency be declared in the state? Are things so unstable that the federal will have to come into the state to take over? I'd like to get your thoughts on that, Honorable Ihunwo. But before you answer that, Mr. Cole, very importantly, you say that, and this is at variance with what Honorable Ihunwo has said, that this is not democracy, that there's a state of chaos, anarchy in Rivers State. What's the way forward? And I say this also asking you what the role of the president is. I believe you're still a member of the APC, and that's your party. He's a member of your party. Should the president take action, and what would action look like? I'll start with Honorable Ihunwo, and then I'll come to you, Mr. Cole. Okay. Honorable Chidi Ihunwo, please go ahead.
Well, yes, you asked me. You said how, if I'm sure the evidence I have that the Minister of FCT is responsible. You are in Nigeria, you can see what is happening in Rivers State. Probably before the local government election, the same Minister of FCT and his cohorts arranged people blocking the SEC office, doing protests. This is the same man that told Nigerians that Atiku was doing protests to the union. Wike has lined up a lot of Rivers people who has a name, putting them inside a bus and start protesting. It's the same person. And I can tell you reliably that even on Saturday, election was going on, the same minister told his group to assemble somewhere at GRA, start doing protests. This is the same man that said Atiku was doing protests. Today, Wike has made people start strolling around Port Harcourt as why Rivers people were busy voting for the candidate of their choice. And the governor declared said there was no movement of a vehicle and human being till 4 p.m. after the election. He still violated it and told his people to go around and start, constitution users in our state. Like I said before, two people cannot be mad at the same time. We have to do our thing. The voting was ongoing, very peacefully. Rivers people obeyed the instruction of the governor. There was no movement until 4 p.m. Now, what happened yesterday is that there is a young man from his community, where he's come from, Rume, who Wike is using. I can tell you, I'm not afraid. He's using to shoot guns, harassing people, trying to burn different local government in River State. So he knows we know them. We have worked with Wike, so we know what he can do. It's not. I am not alleged. I am telling you that this is what he is doing. So he can also sue me for if I'm giving a fake information. These are the people he's using to cause crisis, and everybody knows what he's able to do. And let me tell Nigerians, power comes from God. If power is being given to you, it's not your right. It's a privilege, and God gives you power. He was the governor for this in River State for 8 years, uninterrupted. This was more or less inside his pocket, and nobody interrupted. So now we have a new governor. Why not allow Rivers people to have peace?
All right, on the state of emergency,
For us,
very
we are
quickly.
okay. Like this morning,
Very quickly on the state of emergency.
like this morning.
Yeah.
No, the issue of state of emergency, there's no need for the state of emergency in Rivers. Rivers is very peaceful. What we want to do is to call on Mr. President to call Wike to order. Wike is threatening democracy under the president, under the administration of Mr. President. Well, Wike is not God. Wike is a human being. And President should call him to order. He's disrupting our state. Go to other state. Akpor presidential election, Jigawa, everywhere is very peaceful. Why is it that Rivers State? Wike cannot own Rivers. Rivers is too big for him to own as a private. He's not even Obio. He's from my local government. He can't own our local government as a private state, not even Rivers State. And let me tell our people that our people, Obio people say where Wike comes from, Chinda is from there, they are what we are doing. We are being liberated because we have been in their pocket for a lot of time, and they have pocketed our destiny. And yesterday was a liberation for our local government. I also appeal to Mr. President to address Wike or immediately sack him because he doesn't even deserve to be in the cabinet of Mr. President. Look at Nigerians. I will have ministers in the cabinet. How many of them are causing problems in their states?
All right.
Nobody
Okay.
doing their legitimate work.
All right.
Do what they ask you to do instead of causing crisis.
Okay. All right. Well said. Thanks. Mr. Cole.
Very interesting. Interesting listening to Chijoke. First and foremost, I would say that what you're talking about is one internal battle that has started a long time ago, and it's not in isolation. And so to actually believe that moving forward from now is actually going to bring peace moving forward, I think it's a fallacy. There's no peace that can happen under the present. And you have to go back, and I'm glad he mentioned it, you have to go back to Odili into Amechi, Amechi into Wike, Wike into Sim. And you will see that there is a trend that must end because everybody that is being mentioned here comes from the same nuclear family, splitting up and fighting to the death. Splitting up and fighting to the death. As Amechi was leaving power, he inaugurated, held an election, and swore in local government chairmen. As soon as Wike came in, he removed all of them, held a caretaker committee. They were sitting down for well over 11 months or nearly a year, and then conducted an election, which brought this ones in, the last set. They all went to court, the ones that Amechi removed. They held that matter in court till today. It's been no speedy hearing and all. So people who were sworn in are sitting down as embattled chairmen in court. In the meantime, you've had another set of elections and another set of elections. These ones that have just gone out are definitely going to go to court. So we'll have another issue. So you cannot have peace like that. How do we move forward? Because I think that's really what is important. The first aspect of it, you said, what should Mr. President do? There are 4 actors here that must be called together to sit down. And until all of them sit at the table and decide that Rivers State is more important than personal agendas, interests, till then, we're not going to have peace. His Excellency, Peter Odili, who is the father of all of everybody in this political dynamics, must sit at the table. Rotimi Amechi, His Excellency, must sit at that table. Nyesom Wike must sit at that table. And Sim Fubara must sit at that table. And the president can't pretend this if he really wants peace in Rivers State. And a decision must be made that this is how we're going to be moving forward. Until that is done, as soon as Fubara's time is about to end, you will see another all-out war. We were campaigning. All of these local government chairmen that are fighting, they were given instructions that they must not allow me to campaign in any of their local governments. In Opobo, we were ambushed, shot at. We had to shoot our way out. Our security men had to essentially open fire to allow us to escape. In Opobo, that is the kind of elections that we have. Dynamites were thrown in, canopies were broken. So when you see all of that happening, then another election is coming, and you think it's going to be peaceful. And they tell us straight off that you cannot win an election in Rivers State if you are not ready to bring violence upon violence. That is your election. And you are seeing it here. This is a local government election. Full violence at play. And we're expecting peace. Nah, it can't happen. I'm sorry. Rivers State, you will see this over and over again until the actors sit down and talk.
Okay, so the first one will be comical. A part of me says, Natoye head catch them. I'm talking about Wike and Fubara, because we all saw the things you went through. But the sad one for me, and that's why you politicians and your shenanigans I can't understand, is the fact that your party to join the Wike fold with the faction of Tony Okocha and executing whatever Wike wanted, which is the sad reality of the political party. So then what is the future for democracy, as it were? You said they should all convene, they should all have a meeting, but President Tinubu prevailed over that meeting, and he told Fubara to sign his death warrants, which we said no. That's number one. Okay. Mr. Chijoke, truth has to be said. You were the caretaker committee chairman of this political party. I'm sure you were not a member of APP as at July. All of a sudden, you've come in with a brand new one. You work with Wike, it's not favoring you any longer now. You've pivoted to Fubara, he's giving you local government chairman. So, do you think you have the fairness to now come and blame Wike here? Because all the atrocities perpetrated there with Wike, you were with him when he was doing all of those things. And can you tell us some of the things you said you witnessed that he was doing when you were with him? So the same you that couldn't condemn him when he was in power then, you now want to condemn him against Fubara now? Is that the case? Because I don't know how you politicians roll. And if you try to unravel you politicians, the confusion only continues. My question to you will be, have you not also been part of the shenanigan in Rivers State all this while? In the spirit of suing for peace now, have you not also been part of it when it didn't favor you in the past? Weren't you part of those that supported Wike then? That's my question to you. I'll come to you first, Mr. Tonyako.
What do you want me to say?
No, the path forward. The path forward with all of this madness going on.
I've said the path
because
forward.
There's no democracy.
Look, first of all, what we're seeing is an affront to democracy in itself.
Yeah.
And that one, there's nobody that can tell you otherwise. What we're seeing, that cannot continue. I have already said that some actors need to be on the table. Like you said the last time, the actors were there.
Happened.
And nothing happened. No, the actors were not all there. And that was not an action towards how do we stop these things from happening. It was an attempt to just, you know what, let status quo continue. Status quo cannot continue. The status quo in Rivers State is not palatable for anybody. And I would like to hear Chijoke's answers to your questions. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about people who were all in the same room, doing the same things. Everything that is happening now are the same people who perpetuated those things.
Yeah, people like Mr. Chijoke.
So, of course, he's very right when he says that we know who they are. There's no secret. It's a very small political family in Rivers State. So everybody knows who is doing what. And I believe he's mentioning names, and that's fine.
So, Mr. Chijoke, please mention more names, because you two were part of the Wike fold before. All of a sudden now, you are Cape Crusader for Fubara. But you were part of all of this shenanigans when it was happening with Wike, because you supported Wike at some point. What's your answer to that?
Let me say that the guest in your studio, Pastor Toyeko, who is from Rivers State, I think I've not talked about him before, and he hasn't seen me before. So I don't know what he's talking about on that side. Now let me tell you, yes, we worked with Wike. All of us worked with Wike. All of us worked with Wike. And like I told before, I appeared here in your station, even when Senator Olakawogu and I had a heated argument here. And I said, we supported Wike for good 8 years. And Wike has finished his tenure for 8 years. We have a new governor, and we're supporting the new governor of Rivers State because we all voted for him. So if you said, I am part of the perpetrated info, and I came back to Fubara, that is wrong, because I can't do info. When Pastor Teko was saying they gave local government chairman instruction not to campaign in all the 23 local government, I was not the local government chairman then. I've never had an encounter with him. So, but for us to have peace in our state, like what I said before, is look, Wike should manage his ministerial position in Abuja and do his work, and let Governor Fubara manage our state because we voted for him. We voted for, and he won election in 2023. One, you must be on ground for you to win an election before you talk about people chasing you, people attacking you. He must be right in River State. He must not go outside the state.
Mr. Chijoke, real quickly, I know what I'm saying. When you were supporting Wike, that was when UK was doing all these things that people are against now. He was abusing kings then. He was suppressing opposition in the states then. He was reigning supreme over others and clamping out dissenting voices then. You people also supported him because he benefited you. Why didn't you tell him he was wrong then?
Now, let me tell you something. You know, when Wike was the governor of Rivers State, he's the governor. I was the youth leader in Rivers State. I'm not a political appointee to Wike, but I was supporting the policies of his government. And I also come out to say, look, His Excellency, this one he did is wrong. It's everywhere. Channels, including this your station. I come out to say, His Excellency, this one he did is wrong. And we tell you these policies were not part of it as a youth leader. So I will not be part of those who will be chasing politicians not to do campaign in different local government. I'm not the governor. The governor gives instruction and say he brought order 59 people should not campaign. That was that Toyeko Isle claim that people are chasing him. No, I was not part of it. What I was a good youth leader, I was not essay to the governor. I was not supporting the policies of the governor.
All right.
And what I did too was also support the policies of what the present governor is doing.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we're out of time now. It would have been really great to hear some of the things we find that you asked that he witnessed under former Governor Nyesom Wike, but we're out of time. So hopefully maybe when you come back